I am a sound worker, healer, rejuvenator, applying principles of neuroscience to meditations, ceremonies, and sound baths. To close your event, I can add my native drum circle, where participants sing easy to sing folk and shamanic music, and playing from the huge collection of native percussion that I bring.
Hi, welcome to The Sacred Journey. The Sacred Journey is the program that reminds you that life is a wonderful adventure and each and every experience we have is a unique and perfect opportunity for learning. I'm Joy St. Germain and this program is Martin Espino, Ancestral Sounds of Mexico. And I am so thrilled and delighted to have Skyping in all the way from California my new friend, Martin Espino. And I have to say, I'm holding this CD because, as you know, I do a lot of different things. Those of you that have been watching the show for a while, I teach yoga and shamanism and lots of different things. I am addicted to this CD. I use it in my yoga classes when I teach. So if you've taken one with me and you've heard this amazing music, this might be what you've been hearing. Martin and I just recently became acquainted by phone and now by Skype, and we've got some future things up our sleeve, some collaborative things. And Martin, I cannot thank you enough. I know you're 3 hours earlier out there, and we had some technical, yeah, I know, it's quite early out there. We had some technical difficulties, but I hope that our viewers will really be able to enjoy getting to know you as much as I am. So tell me a little bit about your background and what you do and why you do it. It's pretty amazing.
Well, that's about a 3-day conversation. So
let's start now.
So my background is, I was born in Los Angeles, California, and my parents are from, everybody's from Mexico. So on my dad's side, that's the state of Durango, Mexico, and my mom's side, that's the state of Sonora, Mexico. So right when you're in Arizona and you cross down the first state in Mexico, you'll be in Sonora. So we're right on the other side. In every state in Mexico, there's different ethnic groups. It's not just like, only they're here in one spot, and there's no obeying divisions like that. There's no such thing.
Okay.
It just wasn't part of anybody's culture, right? everybody moved around.
Right.
So it's not just it's not our fault. And so you'll find different ethnic groups, but you'll find some of them in other places. So with that, basically on my mama's side, there's of all the ethnic groups in the state of Sonora, the Yaquis are the most well known. Make sure no other ethnic groups call me on the phone saying, no, it's us. No, it's us. The Yaquis, we're a big group. We're not a tribe, we're a nation. And we're famous for the Danza del Venado, the deer dance. It's a sacred dance. You might have seen, if you look up on YouTube or anything that's, you look up a deer dance of Mexico, Danza del Venado. We wear the bandana that covers our eyes. You can't see the eyes. And then they have a deer's head on top. And usually no shirt because it's hot. And a beautiful necklace, which I have it over there in the corner. And a kilt. We have kilts. And butterfly cocoon rattles all wrapped on our legs. And rattles. And that's what the deer get. Look at it. It's very, very cool stuff. Very, very, really primal. And that's what we're famous for. On my dad's side, the people there in Durango are called, where we are from, again, because there's different ethnic groups over there. We're the Tepehuanos, or Tepehuanes. And there's even a town called that. We're on the northern east side of the state of Durango. And Tepehuanos are famous for just being very elusive. We don't know what the word means. When the Mexica or the Aztecs were going through there trying to conquer lands and exact tributes of it from everybody, they were kind of like the Romans. They came across these people, and they apparently called, we don't know for sure, apparently called them Tepehuani. Tepet means hill, and Huani means people. So we're hillbillies. That's basically what the hill people, mountain people. And we're famous for a kind of artwork that you might know from the Huicholes. That's the group that lives in different states like Nayarit and Jalisco, mostly Jalisco. You might have seen what they call the God's Eye, or Ojo de Dios. Can you see it on the screen? There you go.
Yes, yeah, beautifully.
There you go. And I made that one. It's a big one. It's a pretty big one.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And it's the idea that the creator's always watching and watch what you're doing. You know, if you believe in that, fine. If you don't, you know, you can call it your consciousness. You know, your consciousness is always going, I know you're doing something really bad. Are you really gonna go ahead and do that? And that's what the Ojo de Dios is reminding you. Always watching out for you, and you make the decision. It's up to you. But in the Sierras, kids don't sometimes live past 5 years old. So they have this thing where they put the first year, and after the kid has completed 1 year, then they'll put one here. And then when they're past another year, one up here, one up there, and when they're 5 years old, the one on the bottom. Then they'll put that in the front yard. And I don't know why, because I don't research everything. They pierce the eye with 2 arrows.
Wow, that's fascinating. I did not know that when they have the multi-images or the multi-eyes around it, that's what that meant. Thank you for sharing that. I had no idea.
Yeah, so it's 5 years that the kid completes it, so it means he's safe after that, right? Because they usually die when they're 5 years old, just from conditions. And what we do here in North America, in this part, I'm sorry, back up. In this part of North America, we're up a little further up in California. We put these over the kids' doors. So when my daughter was little, I had Ojo de Dios over the doors, or her bedroom, just for good luck, good protection, good vibes. And I told her this, so she knows this. The Tepehuanos and the Huicholes, actually the Huicholes are more famous for that. That's called Ojo de Dios, the Eye of God, or also in Tepehuano language, we say Yaguete, the Huicholas call it Nierica. And these are the yarn paintings. You can always tell, the Huicholas are famous for this. But if you look up yarn paintings, you'll see it in the internet. This is when you, how do you say it? When you see yarn paintings that look natural, like natural occurrences, like meetings of people and animals, they look real. That's mostly Huichol. When it's psychedelic and weird like this, it's taken from the Tepehuanos. That's us. Now the funny part is that the Huicholas are the ones that do the peyote ceremonies to do the visions. So they take a hallucinogen, but yet their artwork is very realistic. And in Durango, we don't do any of that. We smoke a tobacco called macuchi. And so you smoke this tobacco, and yet our artwork is psychedelic.
Yeah, that's that's quite interesting. And in my 37 years as an art teacher, I had the privilege and honor of learning a little bit about the arts that you are talking about. So thank you for sharing a more detailed background. And you're more than a musician. You are so into sharing and teaching about the culture from all angles and all aspects. I got to know you through the music just by, having that CD.
Yeah, no, I work I call myself a sound worker. I work as a musician, a professional musician playing with orchestras and groups. So I work as a professional musician. I go out and teach Native American residencies, either one day or for a whole week. I travel all over from here to, Mexico, and I was in Austria last year. I bring large multitudes of instruments and make the audience my group. So I'll get 10, 20 people playing with me in a song, and I got it down so good that I can get them up, out, safe, right? I even went all the way down to doing this with like 3-year-olds.
Oh, wow.
And, and
well,
I'll go to preschool centers, and you always hear adults. The biggest barrier against early childhood education is adults, because they're the ones that go, well, we're not sure if the kids will pay attention. But a lot of my teachings are based on sarcasm. This is correct. So that's right. You don't know. That's why you call me. So I go in there. I keep those kids riveted to me for over an hour. I mean, I always tell all my people that hire me, I go, we're talking about a half hour. I always say a half hour with this age, or any of those early ages. But I say, if you don't mind, can I keep going? And they go, yeah. So I always wind up staying an hour and 15 minutes, as long as I ever went. And I said, goodbye, kids. The kids are going, you want to hear one more? Yeah. And they do that, but interacting. And that leads into another subject we're going to talk about later. Why does that happen? Why do they not run around? Why do they not get crazy? It's two things: audience management skills, and the other one's neuroscience. So that's a long story. Professional musician, teacher of class, Native American things, study music, culture, history, and then interactive, which I'm very known for, and then improvisatory things that I do based on my studies, because we have to recreate a lot of our music. Not a lot was left to us, so to speak. So we have to understand how we can recreate the music, much like how medieval music is portrayed, because I also play that too. So I'm classically trained, and so we have to use certain sources to be able to recreate a single line melody from 14th century Italy.
Sure, there are no recordings for you to draw from. Yeah.
Yeah, and you hear all kinds of recordings of people playing them a melody on a recorder, and then you listen to somebody else and they're playing them on Arabic instruments, and it's just and those latest, they wrote the notation. Music's written out with the words underneath, but it does not say what pitch it is, whether it's high or low, or what instrument's going. They never said that. And so that's why it's open. So that's my mom's thing about that. And then I'm also a ceremonial artist, and I've been doing a lot of things with sound healing using these instruments. Turtle shells and floating gourds in water, and resonating conch shells and big giant drums like this.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And when you feel those vibrations, and I have 4 of these, and I set them up in a room and have you go and play them and experience the vibration that just comes off and hits you, and it, boy. So yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
That's very parallel to shamanic healing. You can probably see some of my drums in the background, which is probably why we connected so instantly when we started chatting. So.
All right, it's cool. It's cool. So that's my background. So it's always hard to describe what I do because I tend to get colorful about it, and there's just a lot of info. Yeah, so that's my background.
You're so engaging too, and our viewers will get to see some videos that you've been kind enough to share with us that we will, when we do the editing, through the magic of editing, we'll be able to share that with the viewers. And we want to give everyone your contact info. You are so much fun to work with, and you're just so, you inspire, and you're just passionate about what you do, and I think that's contagious.
Yeah, that's one of the it's a comment I've heard all the time. I'm passionate about it, yeah. And it's not just like I'm going to play native things and not tell you anything about you. And the first thing I'm going to do is, I'll say we all do the same thing. We all enjoy it. We all go to sleep. We all eat. We love sound. Sound is part of our life. It's part of our physiological, physical, spiritual, mental makeup. It's how we respond to the world, Was that a jaguar, a 400-pound jaguar crunching that leaf, or was it my 3-year-old daughter? We have to know the difference. So our hearing, that's what I've learned about neuroscience and how it's affected my ideas of sound. Should I play some of my instruments?
Oh, please do. Yes.
Yeah. When I do these presentations, I bring these mountains of instruments, and even if I go off state, come up to your area, you'll see me go, wow, where are you bringing all that stuff? I only have 4 instruments that I bring. Voice, stringed instruments, and just so you'll know, in ancient Mexico, there's only one, I should back up. In all of North, Central, South America, there's only one string instrument that exists. It's the hunting bow. And we use different kinds of resonators. So imagine a round resonator, could be a skull, could be a hollowed out log. But in Mexico, the ones that I know, we use a gourd. So a round gourd with a hole in it. What other instrument, has a hole in it that lets sound out? An acoustic guitar. And then imagine a hunting bow like a smile on top of the gourd, with the string going across, and we get the arrow and hit it, and it sounds like hitting the string on a cello. Dong, 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 dong. The other string instrument is the same thing, only it's probably about that big, maybe that big. It's a bow that you put in your mouth, and you go, oh, and with your mouth opening and closing, because that's the resonator. It's hollow in there, and as you close and close it, open and close, you're going to get you get variation in tone, but they're very quiet. So that's the only string instruments. You have voice, all the 500 languages that existed in the Americas back then, prior to let's say 1492. And then the bowed instrument, the string, the hunting bow, or the musical bow, and then there's the monster. A great variety of wind instruments that are all over of the Americas, and all the great variety of percussions that are existent. And that's the magical thing about it. So that's what I bring. So let me play some of the
Yes.
instruments I have. And I know I get into the theoretical thing about in ancient Mexico. Let's back up 1 second. Where you have complex instruments, they tend to be not in nomadic cultures because they spend their time looking for food and not doing a lot of art. Obvious, right? So when you have big cultural centers, see, this is when it's really great. It touches into all the education I do, and also awareness of people knowing where we're from. You know, we're not from sitting out in the middle of a desert, you know, banging on a drum. We are from there. We're from the mountains. We're from the oceans. Gee whiz, just like everybody else out there that's watching us, you're all from those places too, right? But in regard to Native America, we're from large ceremonial metropolises. I'll name them. The rest of America's running around, kind of looking for food, being nomadic, stopping here and there, making a village here and there. But in Illinois, in Cahokia is the one you never hear about. It's they did a reconstruction. It looks like a Mayan pyramid. And the mound builders, I hate that word because they're not mounds. They're, but it's the word pyramid structures. Anyway, they're square with sides that go up. They're all over the Mississippi and the Ohio. Wonder where they came from. If you travel along the coast from Mexico, you'll wind up at the Mississippi River. And so all these settlements are all over. But the biggest metropolis, Illinois, Cahokia, and that's it for North America. Apparently, I heard there's one more, but I gotta look it up. Then there's another one, but not so big, where the Pueblo Indians live in those cliff dwellings. But those aren't that big. Cahokia is gigantic. Then you go to Mexico, and there's tons of settlements, and you go to South America, and you're talking about Peru and Bolivia, and that's pretty much about it.
Okay, Martin, I have to tell you, I know that you love to talk as much as I do. We have 1 minute left in this episode, so I'm going to let you invite our viewers to enjoy some of your music, and then we're going to do a part 2 where we'll get to spend a lot more time with you. So thanks for joining us on the Sacred Journey. We'll catch you next time.
Oh, okay.
No,
Thank you.
now we're letting you take everyone home.
There you go.
Thank you so much.